Well, hello. So I am going to talk about something that's a little uncomfortable. And it's not something that you get a whole lot of media about. So, and I know because I've been searching and not seeing a whole lot of perspective on this. So I have to have a hysterectomy. And that is a pretty scary thing, and for anybody who does not know what a hysterectomy is, that is the removal of the female reproductive organs, the uterus, and potentially the ovaries, depending on the circumstances. So I have a couple of conditions that have been diagnosed over the past 6 months or so that I've most likely had all of my life, and certainly explain a whole lot of difficulties and pain and discomfort that I have had since I started cycling with my menstrual cycles when I was 11 years old. So today I am going to my doctor's appointment for my preoperative appointment, getting ready for my surgery. Now, if you're watching this is May 12th, 2020, and oh my gosh, we've had a crazy worldwide pandemic that has put everything into different time frames, and it's just changed the world. So I actually got diagnosed with these things in early March, so I have and please forgive me, any medical people who are going to watch this. I have adenomyosis, I'm sure I butchered that, and polycystic ovarian syndrome. So one would have been simple enough to treat with birth control if I could take that. I cannot. The other, the only real cure for that is either going through menopause or having a hysterectomy. Hopefully I am several years away from natural menopause. So the only real option for me to alleviate these problems and pain and discomfort is to have a hysterectomy. So I was diagnosed with these in early March. Went through all kinds of screening, biopsies and whatnot to make sure that I did not have cancer or anything more serious than a secondary infection. Went through antibiotic treatment. Thankfully, there is no cancer, by the way. Yay. Otherwise, this will be a whole different vlog. So, I did not... I don't think anybody anticipated that the world was going to change, right? That we were all going to go into lockdown. I happen to live in the state of Arizona, and like many states, our elective surgeries were shut down until just very recently. So, it was, I am not in a critical state, so I did not need to have surgery immediately, and I was more than happy to wait and get through what we needed to get through as a world, as a community, before we get back into let's cut me open and take things out of me. So instead of having this surgery a good 6 weeks ago, like we had hoped, I get to have it now, actually in about a week. So I get to go talk to my doctor today, preoperative work. If you've ever had an operation before, they do this pretty standard for just about any operation, where you go in, you get testing, you go over the surgical plan, odds and ends. So I will tell you about that a little bit later in this vlog. In general, though, I can tell you I am in a kind of a weird state. I am mentally happy to be getting done with this. I was not kidding when I said I have had pain and discomfort every cycle I've ever had. Sometimes worse than others. Sometimes it's been stabbing pains. I've always had very heavy cycles, so I bleed heavier. I have a lot of heavy clotting. This is not normal stuff that you talk about out in public. I guess it's taboo. So I'm just not seeing a lot of people talking about this experience, and I felt that it would be a good thing for me to do, to share my journey. So I've had 2 children. Okay, my eldest, my firstborn, is 18. God bless her. She's graduating high school in a pandemic. And my second child unfortunately passed away in infancy, but that was also 17 years ago. So I've had a long time to decide that I did not want to have more children. There was complications with the second one, pretty serious health complications with her. And I just didn't want to go through that. There was complications for me, and there was complications for the child. So unfortunately, the things that I had, well, my youngest had Down syndrome, and when you have a Down syndrome child, you are genetically more likely, statistically more likely, however you want to put it. I don't remember how they told us at the time, to have Down syndrome children. And that, as awesome as Down syndrome kids are, that was not something I wanted to go through again. I didn't want to go through that physically again. It was a lot of pain and physical pain for me with the pregnancy. It wasn't an easy pregnancy. It did a number on my body. So fast forward 17 years, I've had a lot of time to decide I don't really want to have more children. So I'm in a pretty good place mentally where that's concerned right now, and I realize that as I have the surgery, it's very possible that hormones and stress and everything else, I might very well have a bit of a breakdown about that. But I really didn't want to have any more kids to begin with, so I think I'm pretty good on that one at the moment. So I'm in a good mental state there. I'm not ignorant to the fact that I'm going to have abdominal surgery. I do understand that there is a pretty steep recovery from that. It is not the same thing, of course, but I did have 2 C-sections. So I am conscious of what it is to recover from an abdominal surgery. And as I've told my daughter, at least this time I don't have a squealing infant to deal with that I would have been forced to get up and help. So we'll see how that goes. Physically speaking, I recover relatively well from surgeries and hurts and injuries, so hopefully that won't be too big of a deal. Mostly at the moment I'm just kind of nervous. Nobody really wants to go through surgery where they're taking out an organ. But on the flip side, I am really just wanting to get this done, and I'm looking forward to it in a really weird way, just to get it done. So that's where I'm at right now, and I will update you guys after the appointment so that we can have a little bit more details on what I got coming up and what the next week or so is going to look like. And I am cautiously optimistic about all of this. granted, I am nervous. I don't like being a burden to anyone, so I don't want to be a burden to my daughter as I recover, although she is very much game to help me in any way that I need, because she's just that kind of awesome kid. But it's a mixed bag of emotions right now. I'm stressed, I'm tired, I'm a little scared, but in general, I'm not in a bad place either. So we'll see. So I'll catch you after the appointment.